guys like Tim Kaine talk about how many illegals are in the workforce in the several states. They're not lying about it. They're doing it because we aren't willing to pay that much to construct the extension on our house or to put a deck on before the summertime comes. It's the same thing that kills municipalities when they do their low bid contract stuff. It all sounds nice on paper. Gameplay the impacts of it all out, and it becomes a little more murky. But I am in favor of being able to use tariffs to equalize the playing field some.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. This is why so many people are joining MediShare right now. MediShare is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly health care costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. MediShare can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
News Talk 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, KTUI, Sullivan. It's 6 o'clock. Good morning. This is KTUI Radio, beginning a new day of broadcasting. KTUI is owned and operated by Merrimack Area Broadcasting, LLC of Sullivan, Missouri. Broadcast facilities are located at 900 Elmont Road in Sullivan. KTUI is authorized by the Federal Communications Commission to operate on an assigned frequency of 1560 kilohertz on the AM band and K231CP, an FM translator frequency of 94.1 megahertz. The assigned power for KTUI AM is 1,000 watts, and the power for the FM translator is 250 watts. We invite you to tune in daily to AM 1560 or 94.1 FM for the latest news, weather, and information. And now the U.S. Coast Guard Band with our national anthem.
By the way, how well do you think others know and understand you? Do you have a close friend who knows you so well that even when you go off the deep end, they still understand? These two words go hand in hand in human relationships, love and understanding. George Orwell, author of 1984, said, "Perhaps one did not want to be loved so much as to be understood." Lasting relationships thrive on a love that believes in the other person, even when their moods or their thinking have you totally baffled. Those moments are Jesus moments, as when you're confused in your thinking and you know Jesus loves you nonetheless. This is By the Way.
And good morning. Yes, I'm here, having trouble with my streaming this morning. Oh, well. Let's see. It is 3 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock this morning. Let's see. We've got increasing cloudiness on tap for us today. Chance of sprinkles afternoon. High near 38 degrees. Cloudy tonight. Scattered showers mainly after midnight. Low around 34 degrees. It's going to be cloudy tomorrow. 60% chance of rain mainly before 1 p.m. High near 54, and then mostly cloudy tomorrow night. Low around 26. Partly sunny on Sunday. High near 38. Mostly cloudy Sunday night. Low around 24, and then mostly cloudy on Monday. High near 39 degrees. 32 degrees right now at the studios of KTUI. Went out this morning. You know, we haven't had, or at least here in town, I don't think we've had a lot of days where we've had heavy frost on the windshield, and I did this morning. Wasn't really expecting that, but so some frost out there. Let's see, out at the airport, what are they saying? They're saying 32 degrees, so we agree. Here it's 32, there it's 32. Let's see, I have some birthdays today. One today, Ashley Crump. Tomorrow, Annabelle Beckett, going to be 11, I think. Ronald Eaton, Alexis Bird, Kimmy Wibbenmeyer. She's the theater teacher at the high school. David Hartwick. I talked to David the other day. He's retiring from Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital. He's kind of sort of half retired now, but I think he's retiring completely now. And Michelle Landeros, Sunday. You can usually find Michelle over at Lowe's helping folks out. Today, you know what? I forgot my sunrise stuff. The streaming, streaming on YouTube like normal, but Facebook didn't want to come on this morning. I don't know why. All right, today is the 7th day of February. It's a Friday. Sunrise will be at 7:04 a.m. Sunset's at 5:34. That gives us a day length today of 10 hours and 30 minutes. That's 3 minutes more than we had yesterday. And on the 7th day of February in 2015, we had a record high of 71 degrees. 1895, our low high was 3. In 1895, our record low was -3, so we only ranged, well, I guess if you count 0, about 7 degrees that day, 3 to -3. And in 2009, we had a high-low of 54 degrees. So there you go. All right, now, today is, of course, Red Friday. There are 2 reasons for Red Friday. Women's heart disease, I guess. And then, of course, I wear red on Fridays, every Friday, for Remember Everyone Deployed. This is also E-Day. This is Ballet Day, Black HIV AIDS Awareness Day, Bubblegum Day, it's Give Kids a Smile Day, National Fettuccine Alfredo Day, National Patty Melt Day, National Periodic Table Day, National Wear Red Day, Rose Day, Send a Card to a Friend Day, and Wave All Your Fingers at Your Neighbor's Day. I guess that's opposed to just waving one at them. So, all right. And there's a couple of weeks that actually start today. And one of them is Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week. The other one is National Marriage Week USA. And they both start today. All right. That's what I've got for you. 32 degrees both here at the studios and out at Sullivan Regional Airport. It's coming up on 8 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock here on a Friday morning. And I've got news for you from Town Hall. Stay tuned here to KTUI.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Senate Republicans over the protest of screaming Democrats and despite this week's overnight filibuster have confirmed Russell Vought to head the Office of Management and Budget.
Despite the dramatic gesture of an all-night and all-day non-stop Democrat marathon against Vought's nomination, there was nothing Democrats could do in the end to stop the Republican majority from advancing to a final confirmation vote. Democrats are furious that under President Trump, the White House last month issued and later rescinded a memo that called for a temporary freeze on payments for a number of federal assistance, loan, and grant programs. Bob Agnew reporting.
Iran's supreme leader is rejecting the idea of nuclear talks with the U.S., saying negotiations would not be intelligent, wise, or honorable. President Trump reinstating sanctions on the International Criminal Court.
Last November, it issued arrest warrants for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. On the same day, it issued a warrant for a Hamas commander. President Trump's executive order said the ICC had abused its power and set a dangerous precedent.
The BBC's Peter Bowes. A Boston federal judge temporarily halting the Trump buyout program for federal workers. That same judge will hold a hearing today on a request from 18 states to block Mr. Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship. There's a search underway off Alaska's west coast. They're looking for a small plane. It vanished with 10 people on board. The weather may have been a factor. The January employment report due out this morning expected to show the addition of 169,000 jobs last month. That would be a decline of 87,000 from December. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow futures are up 16 points. NASDAQ futures down 19. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in a parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hong Kong will file a complaint against the latest U.S. tariffs on the city's products with the World Trade Organization. Its government has slammed the U.S. measures as grossly inconsistent with the relevant WTO rules, claiming they ignore the city's status as a separate customs territory. The U.S. imposed an additional 10% tariffs on Chinese goods and ended a customs exception that allowed small value parcels to enter the U.S. without being taxed. The measures have already prompted China to request WTO dispute consultations with the U.S., announce retaliatory tariffs on select American imports, and an antitrust investigation of Google. Turkey has terminated the mission of Afghan diplomats who were appointed by Afghanistan's former pro-Western government. The outgoing team announced the move in a statement on X, saying it had handed over the embassy in Ankara to the Turkish Foreign Ministry. News and analysis at townhall.com. What's in a name? Plenty, according to the Boy Scouts of America, now to be known as Scouting America.
President and CEO Roger Crone says it's time for a name change.
It really allows us to kind of rebrand and reset. It's kind of nice to have some things that are new and fresh.
The organization has been trying to move past claims filed by tens of thousands of mostly men who said they were abused as young scouts, and the 2020 bankruptcy filing that followed. It began allowing gay youth in 2013, ended a blanket ban on gay adult leaders in 2015, welcomed girls in the Cub Scouts in 2018, and the flagship Boy Scout program in 2019. I'm Donna Warder.
The world-famous Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is back for a 149th year, And it's back at New York's Madison Square Garden for the first time since early 2020. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Missouri Net News, I'm Marshall Griffin. A Missouri House committee is reviewing several bills in response to the state's new minimum wage law. A majority of Missouri voters approved the law last November to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2026 and require businesses to provide paid sick leave to workers. The bills range in intent, with some trying to overturn the entire law and others attempting to exempt certain businesses and workers. Several business groups oppose the new law, including the Missouri Chamber of Commerce, Missouri Restaurant Association, and Associated Industries of Missouri. The committee could vote soon on whether to advance the bills to a second House committee. The Missouri Senate has passed an ambulance district support bill. Jefferson City Republican Mike Bernskaetter says the measure would require annual training for district board members and mandate audits every 3 years.
We have many high-functioning ambulance services in the state, but we have a few that are underperforming, and mainly it's in the small rural districts. They have financial struggles, and if they're having trouble in an ambulance district, then sometimes they lean on the ambulance district next to them, and then that puts a strain on the district that those people are supposed to represent.
It would also give the Department of Health and Senior Services the authority to deny licenses to financially struggling or understaffed districts. The University of Missouri Board of Curators has voted to name a laboratory on the MU campus after former Governor Mike Parson. Anthony Morbith reports.
The new building's name will be the Michael L. Parson Meat Science Education and Training Laboratory. Board of Curators Chair Todd Graves says the board voted to honor a true champion of the state's greatest industry. The laboratory will further enhance the capabilities of the MU College of Agriculture, Food and Natural Resources. It will provide new tools and technology for leaders and workers in the meat processing industry to better meet their needs. In 2023 and 2024, Parson signed budget bills that included a combined $35 million for the center that will now bear his name.
This is Missouri Net.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. If you're having a tough time or thinking about suicide, you're not alone. And there's hope. VA's Veterans Crisis Line is full of responders who listen and help. Many are veterans or have veteran family members and friends, so they're prepared to address your challenges. After calling, you'll be connected to the next available crisis line responder. That person may ask, are you thinking of suicide? Or what plan can we put in place to keep you safe today? If you choose, the responder will share your name and personal information with your local VA Suicide Prevention Coordinator, who'll connect you to local VA assistance and resources. Don't wait. Dial 988, then press 1.
Legislation designed to protect customers from getting burned by ticket brokers has passed a U.S. Senate committee. The bill is co-sponsored by Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt. He tells Missouri Net that it would require ticket sellers for concerts and sporting events to include an itemized list of all fees attached to the price of a ticket.
It's to make sure that there's better disclosure as it relates to, people buying concert tickets and making sure people can get full refunds.
The Federal Trade Commission would be responsible for enforcing the proposed requirements. The bill is co-sponsored by Democratic U.S. Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts. It now awaits a vote by the full Senate. A chain of gas stations in Missouri and other Midwestern states will soon be rebranded. Utah-based Maverick has announced that next month it'll start renaming 54 come-and-go stations in Missouri. And a poster contest for fifth graders in Missouri is being held to celebrate Drinking Water Week, which is May 4th through the 10th. This year's theme is Protect the Source, where students are to show ways people can protect drinking water. Entries must be postmarked to the Missouri Department of Natural Resources by March 8th. This is Missouri Net.
Hi, this is Dale Cottrell, Chief Credit Officer at Sullivan Bank, where we are committed to being a step up in service. Our goal is to put the community back in community banking. We are incredibly grateful to be a part of the KTUI communities and strive to make them a better place for future generations. We've been here for you 129 years and plan to be here for many more. Stop by Sullivan Bank today to experience the step up in service for yourself.
I'm Robert Scott with Bruce Key & Scott Tax Preparation in Sullivan. The Missouri Property Tax Credit Claim, also known as the Circuit Breaker Program, gives back a portion of rent or real estate tax paid for that year by persons 65 and older or persons 18 to 64 that receive SSI, SSD, or Veterans Disability. This credit is for a maximum of $750 for renters and $1,100 for owners who owned and occupied their home. The amount the person receives is based on the amount of real estate taxes or rent paid and the total household income. If you think you qualify, come see me, Robert Scott, at Bruce Scott Tax Preparation at 900 Elmont Road in Sullivan, or call for an appointment at 573-468-8110. Please be aware that this program does not assist with personal property taxes.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol reported that a Barnhart man was killed in an accident in St. Louis County at 1:46 p.m. yesterday on Tesson Ferry Road south of Walden Ridge Drive. A 30-year-old man from Farmington was driving a 2012 Chevrolet Silverado, crossed the center line and struck a 1998 GMC 400 driven by the 57-year-old man from Barnhart. The man from Barnhart was taken to Barnes Jewish Hospital by Melville EMS, where he was pronounced deceased. The driver of the Silverado had serious injuries. He was taken to Mercy Hospital South by Melville EMS. 3 local people were arrested in St. Louis County at 11:46 last night. 30-year-old Kyle J. Blankenship of Sullivan arrested on a patrol charge of possession of a controlled substance, 1 milliliter of fentanyl, and possession of drug paraphernalia. 30-year-old Dustin W. Brown of Bourbon and 31-year-old Allison R. Jenkins of Sullivan were both arrested on patrol charges of possession of a controlled substance, 1 pill of fentanyl. They were all taken to the Eureka Police Department and later released. The patrol made an arrest in Franklin County at 3:16 p.m. yesterday. 41-year-old Christy L. Ingram of Villa Ridge, arrested on a Pacific Police Department failure to appear on a traffic offense ×2. Franklin County failure to appear on non-traffic offenses. She was taken to the Franklin County Adult Detention Facility and was bondable. At 7:52 a.m. yesterday in Franklin County, 49-year-old James C. Sanders of Sullivan, arrested on a Washington County felony enticement of a minor for indecent purposes and felony strong-arm rape. Sullivan Police Department, stealing, larceny, theft. Franklin County, possession of narcotic equipment and dangerous drugs. Crawford County, no license and failure to register a motor vehicle. He was taken to the Washington County Jail and held without bond. The Highway Patrol made an arrest in Crawford County at 12:55 a.m. yesterday. 35-year-old Brandon A. Wilson of Bourbon was arrested on DWI, driving while revoked, leaving the scene of a crash. He was taken to the Crawford County Jail for a 24-hour hold. In a press release from the Washington County Sheriff, Dwayne Reed, deputies with Washington County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to an assault involving a vehicle. When deputies arrived, they made contact with the victim who had been struck by the vehicle. Deputies learned that a suspect driving a 2002 Dodge Dakota had engaged in a verbal argument with the victim and then used the vehicle to hit him. The suspect then proceeded to perform donuts around the victim in an attempt to allegedly further strike him with the victim until the victim was able to defend himself with a crescent wrench, breaking the rear glass of the suspect's vehicle. This caused the suspect to flee the scene. Sheriff Reed said Timothy Portell of Cadet was taken into custody and charged with first-degree assault, armed criminal action, and property damage. Bond was set at $50,000. The Department of Economic Development, or DED, announced recently that it has awarded a total of more than $25 million to 52 projects through its Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, program to assist with various improvement projects. Funded projects include street and roadway repairs, stormwater and drainage improvements, demolition of dilapidated structures, and construction of new public facilities. Locally, the city of St. Clair was awarded $500,000 for street repairs, and Gasconade County got $529,210 for street drainage improvements. Franklin County Highway Department is closing Beamont School Road in the Gerald area today from about 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. for cross-culvert replacement. The closure will be between 7891 Beamont School Road and Highway ZZ. The road will be closed to all traffic, including emergency vehicles. If you have any questions, you can contact the Franklin County Highway Department at 636-583-6361. And the Missouri State Highway Patrol would like to remind the public that driver examination stations throughout the state will be closed on Wednesday, February 12th, in observance of Lincoln's birthday, and on Monday, February 17th, in observance of Washington's birthday. And the patrol wants you to know that they're hiring. They offer over 60 career paths. For current openings, you can visit bit.ly/MSHP careers to apply today. And there's a gospel hootenanny concert to benefit Sherry Pyatt, one of Sullivan's well-known and loved waitresses. Sherry took a bad fall on November 12th that basically destroyed her right hip. She had to have full hip replacement surgery. This benefit concert will be held at the Anchor Church at 285 East Springfield in Sullivan. It starts at 7 o'clock tonight. It's completely free. A love offering will be taken, and 100% of the offering will go to Sherry. That is a look at your local news on a Friday. I'm Sam Scott. Have a great weekend.
For the last couple years, my company, Level 9 Heating and Cooling, has been telling you that when it comes to your HVAC system, you've got a guy. I want you to know that in this area, I'm that guy. My name is Ben Pence, and I'm the Level 9 sales manager. Level 9 is committed to making sure your heating and cooling system runs at peak efficiency, both to save you money on your monthly bills and to extend the life of your system. I also want to let you know that we now offer plumbing services with a master plumber and a journeyman plumber licensed in St. Louis County, and the surrounding areas. I'm also excited to offer the preventive maintenance program for just $25 a month. We come and check your plumbing each year and your HVAC system in the spring and the fall. Preventative maintenance members also get discounts on parts and services. Level 9 Heating and Cooling is a proud premier Lennox dealer, but we service all brands. You can contact me at 636-239-3581. Remember that when it comes to heating, cooling, and now plumbing, I'm your guy.
In recent funeral notices, Donald James Ernie Fuchs of Owensville passed away Tuesday, January 28th at the age of 84. Funeral services will be held Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Gottenstrader Funeral Home in Owensville. Burial will be in the Oak Hill Cemetery in Oak Hill. Visitation will be from 4 until 8 p.m. this evening at the Gottenstrader Funeral Home Chapel. Mildred Marie Campbell, née Brakefield of Leesburg, passed away Friday, January 31st at the age of 85. Funeral services will be held Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Mizell Funeral Home in Cuba. Interment will take place at the Campbell Cemetery in Leesburg. Visitation will be held from 4 until 8 p.m. this evening, then again on Saturday from 10 a.m. until the time of services at 11 at the Mizell Funeral Home in Cuba. Norma Lee Scott, née Helling of Fenton, passed away Wednesday, January 29th at the age of 92. Funeral services will be held Monday at 11 a.m. at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Burial will be in the Midlawn Memorial Gardens in Union. Visitation will be held Monday from 9 to the time of services at 11 at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to the Vandover Baptist Church in Fenton in the name of Norma Scott. Joe Dale Midyett of Steelville passed away Wednesday, February 5th at the age of 77. Visitation will be Monday from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the Hudson Funeral Home in Steelville. The funeral service will immediately follow at 2. Eileen Pullman of Rosebud passed away Thursday, February 6th at the age of 90. Funeral services will be Friday, February 14th at 11 a.m. at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Owensville. Burial will be in the Rosebud Methodist Cemetery. Visitation will be that Thursday from 4 until 8 p.m. at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Owensville. Gary Williman of Rosebud passed away Wednesday, February 5th at the age of 70. Funeral services will be Saturday, February 15th at 1 p.m. at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Owensville. Burial will be in St. John's Evangelical Cemetery in Swiss. Visitation will be Saturday, February 15th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Owensville. Roberta Ann Arnold passed away Sunday, February 2nd at the age of 85. The celebration of life will be planned for a later date. Cremation will take place. All arrangements under the direction of the Eaton Funeral Home and Cremation Center of Sullivan. The complete funeral announcements with all the survivors will air with our 8 o'clock expanded edition of KTUI News this morning.
Welcome to Compass Health Network, where your smile is our priority. If you are struggling to find dental care that accepts Medicaid, we've got you covered. From routine checkups to complex procedures, our skilled, board-certified dentists provide top-notch care with compassion. Don't wait any longer. Get the care you need today. Call 853-8937 to book an appointment with one of our caring dentists. Visit compasshealthnetwork.org to find a location near you.
New Testament Baptist Church in Sullivan is starting a new addiction recovery ministry called Life Issues. It's a biblical approach to the 12 steps, bringing scriptural principles into personal focus and making them come alive for transformational living. Whether you struggle with addictions, food, depression, anxiety, or relationships, you'll be encouraged to see how others have found a new way of life with hope for the future through this program. Life Issues will meet weekly on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. at New Testament Baptist Church. You're not alone. To find out more, contact New Testament Baptist Church at 573-468-3334.
It is 28 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock here on this Friday morning. I'm Sam Scott. Increasing cloudiness for us today. There is a chance of sprinkles afternoon. High near 38 degrees. Cloudy tonight. Scattered showers mainly after midnight. Low around 34. Cloudy tomorrow. A 60% chance of rain mainly before 1 p.m. High near 54. Mostly cloudy tomorrow night. Low around 26. And then partly sunny on Sunday. High near 38 degrees. Going to be mostly cloudy on Sunday night, low around 24, and mostly cloudy on Monday, high near 39. Right now, we've gone up a degree. It's 33 degrees. The airport's still showing 32 degrees. It is 29 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. And Bobby D's got sports for you here on KTUI. Stay tuned.
Looking at sports on this Friday from the Sullivan Bank studios of KTUI Radio, this is Bobby D. The Blues dropped one last night, giving up a goal late, falling to the Florida Panthers. Here's Alex Ferrario with the Blues recap.
Last night, the Blues continued their homestand, welcoming in the Florida Panthers. In the first period, the Blues would score first, as it would be Zach Bolduc standing in front of the net. 3 minutes and 31 seconds in, 1-0 Blues lead. But then back-to-back goals by the Panthers before the period would end would take the 2-1 lead. Matthew Tkachuk, a power play goal. Blues would even it up in the second period. Oscar Sundqvist on the power play. Tie game all the way up until the final 12 seconds of the third period when Matthew Tkachuk would score his second of the year with a deflection standing in front of Joel Hofer. The Blues now dip to 2 games below 500, fall to the Panthers 3-2. Back at it on Saturday against the Blackhawks. Puck drop at 6, pregame skate at 5:30 on the St. Louis Blues radio network.
Thank you very much, Alex, and we'll have that game on 102.1 FM. Working to add depth to an infield that could soon be without 10-time Gold Glove winner Nolan Arenado, the Cardinals dealt for third baseman outfielder Michael Hellman from the Twins on Thursday. The Cardinals sent back cash considerations for Hellman, who had 3 hits and 10 at-bats over 9 games with the Twins in 2024. It is the first money-spent acquisition of the offseason for the Cardinals, who uncharacteristically have yet to sign a free agent. The Cards and Red Sox have again engaged in trade talks centered around Arenado in recent days, according to sources from MLB.com. Arenado has a full no-trade clause in his contract, and he exercised that option in December to block a potential trade to the Astros. Boston would prefer to sign former Astros All-Star Alex Bregman, but they're in a bidding war with at least 2 other teams for his services. Hellman, who's 28, made his MLB debut September 3rd of last season. The Texas A&M University product had 3 hits and 10 at-bats, including 2 doubles in 9 games with the Twins. The ECC Falcons softball team got one of the top Class 4 players in Missouri during the signing day on Wednesday. First-team All-State infielder Casey Jenkins from Bolivar has signed to play at East Central next season. College scoreboard from last night. Women's basketball was number 6 LSU, holding off Missouri 71-60. Grace Slaughter with 18, Ashton Judd 17, Lania Randall 15 for Mizzou. Columbia College women's basketball secured its 20th win of the season, 84-48 victory over William Woods University last night. Mallory Shedley from Sullivan had a game-high 24 points for Columbia with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. Emma Daniels from Owensville had 7 points with a rebound and a block for Columbia. Cindy Booker from Steelville had a double-double for William Woods, 11 points and 10 rebounds. Quincy down Missouri S&T 76-61. Anna Finley from Owensville, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Drury downing Truman State 88-64. Caitlin Patke from Borgia, 2 points for Truman State. Abby Peterson from Sullivan had 3 points and 2 rebounds as UMSL lost to Lewis University 65-54 last night. Men's basketball, the wins keep rolling in for the Missouri S&T Miners, with the 5th-ranked ball club defeating the Quincy Hawks 91-82 to improve to 19-1 overall. Adam Rickman from Borgia had 1 point, 4 steals, 2 rebounds for the Miners. College softball finals from Thursday. Missouri Baptist beat Nelson University 4-2. Michaela Johnson from St. Clair started shortstop from Mobab and was 1 for 4. At the Aggie Classic at Texas A&M, they beat Utah State 11-5 and Purdue 10-2. At the Kachikawa Classic out in Tempe, Arizona, Grace Molitor from Washington, who played this past season at Washington High School ball, graduated in December and enrolled at Arizona State and started shortstop for the Sun Devils. She had a walk, a run scored, a sacrifice bunt as Arizona State beat Maryland 7-1. Baseball scores from Thursday. Columbia College shutting out Spring Arbor University 8-0. Chase McCaig from Herman 1 for 2, a double with 2 RBI for Columbia. Lane Feeler from Bell, 1 inning pitch, gave up a hit with 2 strikeouts. At the Henderson State Invitational in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, Emporia State defeating Henderson State 7-4. TJ Rockerbomber from Herman was 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. College schedule for today: women's basketball, Indiana State at Missouri State at 6:30. On the men's side, St. Louis University at St. Joseph's at 8 o'clock. Missouri Valley wrestling at the Benedictine duels today. Kent State will be at Ohio University at 7 for a dual meet. Indoor track, the Northwest Missouri Bearcat Open starts today with Central Missouri, Evangel, Southwest Baptist, State Fair Community College, and Truman State. Some of the teams will be there. Hannibal LaGrange participating in the NCCAA Indoor National Championships in Cedarville, Ohio. Missouri S&T at the Gorilla Classic at Pitt State. Missouri Southern in the Steve Miller Classic in Manhattan, Kansas. SIU Edwardsville at the Mizzou Invitational. SEMO at the Husker Invite in Lincoln, Nebraska. College softball gets underway in earnest today. Missouri opens up their season at the NFCA Division I Leadoff Classic in Clearwater, Florida. They'll play Marshall at noon today and Northwestern at 3 o'clock. Missouri State opens up in the Paradise Classic at Boca Raton, Florida, playing Ole Miss at 10:15 and Kansas at 2:45. Arizona State will play Miami of Ohio at 6:30 tonight in the Kachikawa Classic out in Tempe, Arizona. Evangel has a couple of games in the Branson Bash in Branson today, playing St. Mary of the Woods at 1 o'clock, Olivet Nazarene at 3. University of Illinois Chicago taking on UAB at 1 o'clock, and South Alabama at 6 o'clock in the South Alabama Invitational in Mobile. Lincoln University in the West Texas Invitational in Canyon, Texas, playing Eastern New Mexico at 9 a.m. and West Texas A&M at 3:45. At the 901 Classic in Memphis, Tennessee, Lindenwood will play Hampton University at 12:30. Also today, Missouri Baptist against Mid-American Christian at 1:30, and they'll play Tabor College at 4. At the Mustang Roundup in Wichita Falls, Texas, Southwest Baptist against Northwestern Oklahoma State at 12:30, and then Cameron University at 5:15. Texas A&M takes on number 19 Baylor at 7 o'clock tonight in the Aggie Classic at College Station. College baseball today, Arkansas Tech at Central Missouri at 3 o'clock. College of the Ozarks at Evangel, a doubleheader at noon and 2:30. Columbia College will play Spring Arbor University in Olathe, Kansas at 10 today. At the Henderson State Invitational, Emporia State against Wichita Baptist at 1. Hannibal LaGrange at York University, noon and 2:30 in a doubleheader. Jefferson College in the Saluki Invitational in Millington, Tennessee. Also McKendree University at Harding at 1 o'clock. Quincy at Lincoln Memorial University in Tennessee at 3. Truman State at Pittsburgh State at 3 o'clock. In the local scoreboard from last night, girls basketball JV game at St. Clair. Sullivan beat St. Clair 40-18. Owensville with a big conference win over Herman, 48-27 in the varsity matchup. The Dutch girls take the JV game 32-16. St. James Downs Pacific 45-17 in varsity. They played 2 quarters of JV. St. James on top 34-4. Rolla girls down Cuba 59-20 last night. Iberia over Bell 58-38. Boys basketball, St. Clair won the JV game with Sullivan last night 38-28. It was Lynn defeating Bourbon 58-45 in varsity, 57-17 in JV. New Haven with a come-from-behind win, 59-56 over Grandview in the varsity game last night. Grandview won the JV game 48-18. High school wrestling from Thursday in a meet at Windsor. St. Clair beat Sullivan 48-24. And then St. Clair beat Windsor 60-18. Sullivan lost to Windsor. In the quad meet at Owensville last night, the Owensville girls beat Fatima 36-10. South Callaway 42-4 and Principia 42-18. On the boys' side, Fatima down to Owensville 59-24. Owensville beat South Callaway 60-18 and Principia 60-12. And in boys wrestling, Washington won a dual meet over Pacific 50-24. Coming up tonight, girls basketball, one game on the schedule. St. Clair at Sullivan. It's a varsity girls and boys doubleheader. Girls game tipping off at 5:30. We'll broadcast those games tonight. Boys basketball, besides that Sullivan St. Clair game, Bell is at by Burnham at 5:30. Borge at St. Dominic, freshman JV and varsity at 4:30. Steelville at Bourbon. It'll be homecoming, 5:30 start time. Cuba at Osage at 5. Owensville at Herman, one half of JV, followed by varsity starting at 6 o'clock. Union at New Haven, it's homecoming there at 6 o'clock start. Pacific at St. James. The freshmen will play at the middle school at 5:30. JV and varsity at the high school with JV at 5:30. Washington at North Point at 5:30 as well. High school wrestling for today. Owensville at the Buffalo Girls Tournament. Pacific in the Lift for Life Girls Tournament. Sullivan and Steelville beat the Central Park Hills Girls Tournament. And Pacific at JV Boys Tournament starts at 4:30 today. Those other tournaments start at 4 o'clock. Sports on the air. We have high school basketball tonight. Varsity girls boys doubleheader. St. Clair at Sullivan. 5:15 pregame for the girls contest with tip-off at 5:30. Followed by the boys game. We hear them both on 102.1 KTUI FM. That's your look at sports on this Friday from the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio. Have a great day, everybody. This is Bobby D.
At Seidenstricker Nobe Partners, we know the right equipment makes all the difference. That's why we're bringing you Spring into Green savings. Right now, save up to $8,600 off MSRP on a new John Deere compact tractor. Plus, get 0% financing for 60 months with zero down. When you choose Seidenstricker Nobe, you're not just getting a tractor, you're getting a partner. Visit snpartners.com. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 4/30/2025. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Direct cattle business Thursday was light to moderate and cash hogs were mixed. I'm John Perkins with the Brownfield Livestock Update. Direct cash cattle business yesterday was light to moderate. Sales are reported at $206 on the live basis in Kansas and Texas, $2 lower than last week's weighted average for the region, with some dress sales in Nebraska at $328 and a handful of live sales at $208. That follows up on Wednesday's activity at $205 live in Kansas, $3 lower, and $328 dressed in Iowa and Nebraska, down $1. Asking prices were firm at $208 live and $329 plus dressed. USDA says beef export sales were up on the week. Box beef did close mixed with light to moderate movement. Choice was down to $1.36 at $323.98, and select was up 44 at $314.77. The estimated cattle slaughter of 118,000 head was down 4,000 on the week and nearly 4,000 on the year. At the Clarinda Livestock Feeder Cattle Sale in Iowa, compared to the previous week, 5 to 600 pound steer calves are up 8 to 12, with 6 to 700 pounders as much as 6 higher, while steers weighing 750 and over had a lower undertone to losses of 6. All heifer weight classes were fully steady to $2 to $6 higher. USDA says demand was very good. Medium and large number one feeder steers weighing 600 to 700 pounds are reported at $313.50 to $335. 7 to 8 weight steers brought $276.50 to $296.50. Medium and large number one feeder heifers weighing 500 to 600 pounds range from $313.50 to $335. 6 to 7 weight heifers sold at $274 to $306. Cash hogs were narrowly mixed with light closing negotiated numbers at the major direct markets. Looks like most buyers have the needed near-term numbers in hand after more aggressive movement earlier on in the week. Buyers and sellers continue to monitor ready numbers, wholesale business, and global demand. Pork export sales are above a week ago. National direct barrels and gilts were 48 cents lower at the base price range of 80 to 88 for a weighted average of 86.23. Iowa Southern Minnesota was down 22 cents at 86.98, and the Western Corn Belt was up 7, also at 86.98. Butcher hogs in Dorchester, Wisconsin, and Garnerville, Iowa were steady at 60. Pork closed $1.81 higher at 95.64. Loins, butts, hams, and bellies were sharply higher, while picnics were weak and ribs were sharply lower. The estimated hog slaughter of 481,000 head was down 2,000 on the week and more than 10,000 on the year. We're online at brownfieldagnews.com. John Perkins, Brownfield.
Winter complicates life in the pond. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Ice and snow make living conditions less than friendly for plants and animals in the water as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
Check out our full lineup of Successful Farming podcasts. The Successful Farming podcast goes in-depth into the topics that affect farmers and ranchers. The 15 Minutes with a Farmer podcast offers a quick conversation between an editor and a farmer. The SF Shorts podcast offers bite-sized interviews about agricultural topics. And the SF Daily podcast covers commodity markets, weather, and the big things happening in agriculture each morning. Search for Successful Farming wherever you download your podcasts. If you're looking for ideas and inspiration for your place in the country, register for the Living the Country Life newsletter. You'll receive helpful tips and information about a wide variety of seasonal topics, including pets, livestock, gardening, machinery, and more, delivered straight to your inbox twice each month. Sign up for your newsletter today at agriculture.com.
Ice is like a lid on the aquatic ecosystem and limits the amount of nutrients, energy, and oxygen available to fish and other creatures. But aquatic specialist Mark Mungan says if the ice stays thin and clear, plants and algae will produce oxygen because sunlight can filter through.
They're completing that photosynthesis process and they're putting oxygen in the water. And at the very least, they're dormant, and so they're stationary. They're sitting there in a dormant state. They are not breaking down and decomposing. Because when everything breaks down and decomposes, that's when you get that anaerobic activity occurring.
It only takes 4 inches of wet snow on top of the ice to eliminate sunlight penetration, and oxygen levels will decline fast. To prevent a fish kill, partially clear off the snow by shoveling long strips across the pond to allow some sunlight to penetrate the ice. You'll want to keep about 30% of the ice free of extended snow cover. However, for your safety, only remove the snow when the ice is at least 4 inches thick. If the ice is weak and can't hold up the snow, the problem will solve itself. Whatever you do, never try to break the ice on the top, as this can send shock waves to the fish, causing them to die. Snow and ice removal is especially important in shallow ponds that are less than 8 feet deep and have an abundance of aquatic vegetation. Weeds, tree leaves, and other things are decaying on the pond bottom, which increases the chance of winter kill.
Ammonia given off in excessive rates. Look out fish, frogs, crayfish, everything, snails. It'll kill them. Everything's rotting and breaking down underneath the dark black ice.
Learn more about the issues of a pond in the wintertime at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
It's 15 minutes in front of 7 o'clock. Increasing cloudiness for us today. There's a chance of sprinkles afternoon. High near 38. Cloudy tonight. Scattered showers mainly after midnight. Low around 34. Then cloudy tomorrow. 60% chance of rain mainly before 1 p.m. High near 54. 33 degrees right now at the studios of KTUI. 32 out at Sullivan Regional Airport. And it's time for us to go out across our wide Missouri.
Across our wide Missouri with Bob Pretty. Listen to show archives, hear about this day in Missouri history, and learn more about the Show Me State by visiting MissouriNet.com today.
For years, she told the stories of her childhood to her daughter, and when her daughter grew up to become a prominent author, the mother was encouraged time and again to write down those recollections. Resistance finally weakened, and the mother would come to write 8 books about her life. We'll tell the story of her stories in a minute.
Protect your livestock from black vultures. Get your depredation permit from Missouri Farm Bureau. Davin Altoff tells us how.
So if a producer sees a black vulture on their farm, I would highly encourage them to reach out to us at Missouri Farm Bureau. There's two ways that a producer can reach us. We have an email address, blackvultures@mofb.org, blackvultures@mofb.org. Or they can reach us at 573-893-1417. 573-893-1417. I process the application and try to get them an approval letter as quickly as I can. And once they receive the approval letter, that is their permit in hand for them to be able to activate. That means they have the ability to take up to 10 black vultures.
The permit process is free, quick, and easy. Find out more at agriculture.mo.gov. agriculture.mo.gov.
Problem with telling the story of Laura Ingalls Wilder, because you see, there's no better way to improve on the way she told it. Once upon a time, 60 years ago, a little girl lived in the big woods of Wisconsin in a little gray house made of logs. The great, dark trees of the big woods stood all around the house, and beyond them were other trees, and beyond them were more trees. As far as a man could go to the north in a day or a week or a whole month, there was nothing but woods. There were no houses, there were no roads, there were no people. The family numbered 5, Ma and Pa, Laura, her older sister Mary, and baby Carrie. She was 5 when the first story begins and had never been to town, had never seen a store, had never been seeing 2 houses together. In that first book, Laura celebrates her 6th birthday and writes about making butter and cheese and maple syrup and sugar, of a sugar snow, of dances at Grandma's house during the maple sugar season. She wrote of harvesting by hand, of shocking the oats, of log cabins and warm hearths, of strict observance of the Sabbath, and of loving the homemade rag doll she got for Christmas. Eventually, they left the little house in the big woods and went to the Indian country. They forded streams, one of which rose suddenly and almost killed them. Their cabin was almost destroyed by a chimney fire, then by a prairie fire. They came down with malaria and might have died if neighbors hadn't found them. Indians sometimes came around and scared everybody to death. But they found the federal government didn't want settlers in the area yet, so they packed up and went to Minnesota. Since they were only 2.5 miles from town, Laura first went to school. She was 8. They survived the grasshopper plague that destroyed a good wheat crop. Pa had to leave to find work, and the family endured loneliness and blizzards. And if you want to feel the fury of a winter storm, you'll find no better description than the books of Laura Ingalls Wilder. The family grew with the addition of Grace, another baby, and was touched by sadness when scarlet fever left the oldest daughter, Mary, blind. Another chance to move came, and they went with it. This time, old Jack, the faithful dog who trotted alongside the covered wagon, was too old and died the day Pa headed west. Out west now, and Laura was growing up. She became a certified teacher. She met Almanzo Wilder, who saved her family and others by making a daring run during a Dakota winter to get some wheat for the townsfolk. The love story is told in a refreshingly straightforward way, not quaint, but warm and real. In 1893, the Depression got the best of them in the Dakotas, so Laura and Almanzo packed up and headed south to Missouri. They traveled for 55 days, arriving in Mansfield in the Ozarks. They lived at a place called Rocky Ridge Farm, and it was there that Laura finally wrote the stories that we have come to love. They both lived long and rewarding lives. Laura died in 1957 at the age of 90. Although in her books she'll never be older than 20. Almanzo died in 1949 at the age of 92. The Little House books of Laura Ingalls Wilder might be children's stories, but they're by far not beneath the enjoyment of adults. And why? Well, the reason is the last paragraph of her first book. Laura lay awake a little while, listening to Pa's fiddle softly playing, and to the lonely sound of the wind in the big woods. She looked at Pa sitting on the bench by the hearth, the firelight gleaming on his hair and beard. She looked at Ma gently rocking and knitting, and she thought to herself, this is now. She was glad that the cozy house and Pa and Ma and the firelight and the music were now. They could not be forgotten. The past can never be forgotten with Laura Ingalls Wilder. It's always now in her books. Laura Ingalls Wilder, who was born on this date, the 7th of February in 1867.
That was Across Our Wide Missouri with Bob Pretty. To listen to show archives, hear about this day in Missouri history, and learn more about the Show Me State, visit MissouriNet.com.
Many people come to this area of Michigan each year for the beauty of the woods and the Lake Michigan shoreline. The first industry here, though, had early settlers sending the best wood to points around the globe for a sport that was very popular at the time. The story is next on the American Countryside.
What's the first thing you do in the morning? For many farmers and ranchers, it's checking weather and market updates. Make AgWeb Daily Newsletter part of your morning routine. Not only bringing you essential news and weather updates, but also covering topics such as smart farming and agriculture's next generation. And each weekday, stay informed and stay ahead with AgWeb Market Weekly. Whether you're at home or in the field, AgWeb Market Weekly keeps you connected and competitive.
Delivered straight to your inbox. Subscribe to both today at agweb.com/newsletters and never miss a beat.
I'm Tyne Morgan, host of U.S. Farm Report, the only weekend television show that features some of agriculture's